Hi, Justin. How are you?
Hi, Kayla. Hey, I'm good.
Congratulations on Blue Bayou. I saw the movie. It was exceptional, so raw, so emotional, and obviously it has a lot of truth behind it. Was there an initial story that really inspired and sparked this project for you?
So, I'm friends with quite a few adoptees, and I started hearing that this issue was taking place, and I dug into a bit more and found out that a lot of um, are these cases are essentially irreversible once the deportation order is given. Um, I just I was shocked. I just think it's an incredibly cruel and unjust when the government allows a legal adoption a child to be brought overseas to U.S. citizens, and then as an adult decide that they're no longer citizens because of a loophole in paperwork. It's cruel. So I my heart bled for the community, and I just really wanted to use my platform to shine a light on this issue and try to my attempt at portraying some version of the adoptee experience.
And then what was the research like going forward, finding these stories and figuring out how to portray it on screen?
Yeah, so I read a string of articles, and I found uh, quite a few adoptees that have been deported. And there are certain things that they had in common. Adoption a lot of times is a story told through rose-colored glasses. You don't necessarily hear the times it doesn't work out or they're given up. Not all families decide to keep their children, then they go to the foster care system. So that aspect of it like really just moved me, and it just that whole journey of at the end of the day that you already have issues with identity and trying to figure out where you're supposed to, and then for the government to finally be like, oh, you don't even belong here, must be absolutely devastating. But I had like 4 or 5 adoptee consultants. I had one um woman that was like my go-to, my rock, basically. I could call it any time of the day and night to make sure she gave some of that stuff really ended up in the film. Like, she told me, as an adoptee, having your own child is one of the most profound moments of your life because it's the first moment you have a blood relative.
Mhm.
And it's for some quite emotional, so I made sure I included that. And there are other aspects that I made sure that I included through these conversations. Also, an immigration attorney. um, but most importantly, I just want to tell a story about a real human being that's
Mhm.
flawed and not like perfect, so I can bring humanity and empathy to somebody who's going through this process.
Right. And then my last question is, like you said, you were very shocked to find out that this happens. I was also very shocked watching this film. And I know a lot of people will step away, maybe, shocked, but also inspired in, trying to help. What are some things that people can do to maybe help these people who are facing deportation?
I'm not terribly political, and I'm not like wouldn't say an activist.
Hmm.
But I would say that there are groups like Adoptees for Advocacy and NACASAC that do need funding and help. Also, following just what's going on with immigration policy, I think can be quite helpful because you can vote the sort of representatives that make these decisions, whether it's congressman or senate. you know um it's pretty above my pay grade. I make human stories, but yeah, I think ultimately conversations, like talking about it with friends, because that seems like to spread like wildfire from what I've seen in terms of getting momentum and it reaching the right people. My hope with this film is that the right people see it,
Hmm.
and then if they're kind of on the fence about which way to vote on some of these initiatives or bills that maybe it can sway them, because I think films are empathy machines, and maybe they'll think twice about something that's faceless. Um, so I think have the conversations and spread the word, and you know you know maybe learn more about it. I think just
Mhm.
even knowing about it is super important, because when these conversations come up, if you know something, then you can speak like about it with some knowledge. I think that's important.